Right, so welcome and thanks for being here. Today we're going to do something that most business owners never really do properly. And yeah, we're going to take an honest look at every corner of your business for your quarterly business review. Not the version you tell other people about, where you kind of twist the truth and hold things back, the real one. This is the 90-day business review, quarterly business review, and I run this myself every quarter without fail. And it is the single highest leverage half day I spend in my business. Today I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do it. Now, if you've got your handout in front of you, we're going to work through it together, section by section. And by the time we finish, you're going to have a complete picture of where you are and a plan for where you're going over the next, not just the next quarter, but the next 12 months. So before we get into the framework, let me tell you why most quarter reviews are a waste of time. Now, there are three types of business owner when it comes to reviewing their business. The first one is they don't review it at all. They just keep running, keep their head down, teaching classes, answering emails, pissing around on Canva, messing around with AI on stuff that they don't really need to do, and start putting out fires. They never stop to look up and ask whether they're even heading in the right direction with their business. They don't look at their vision, and they don't adhere to their vision and wonder why 3 years down the line they don't actually achieve it. Then there's number two. These are the people that they glance at their revenue every so often, maybe check their bank balance, probably daily, and if the number's up they feel good about themselves, and if it's down they feel bad. The thing is, that's not a review, that's kind of a mood check. It's emotional. Then there's number three. They do a surface level review that tells them what they already knew. They write a list of things they should do, put it in a drawer and forget about it, or put it into a notebook and forget about it until the next quarter. Now, does any of this sound familiar to you? If it does, then this is why you need to pay even more attention. The thing is, none of these create clarity and none of these actually create change. What we're doing today is a little bit different. This is a proper structured review that covers your numbers, your operations, your marketing, your personal energy, and your strategy. The full picture, because you can't fix what you can't see. So here's what we're covering in the next, 30 to 60 minutes or so. There's going to be 6 parts. First, the numbers. It's going to be membership revenue, program performance, and this is the foundation. You can't improve it if you don't measure it. Second thing is the operations. That's your team, your systems, and honestly whether or not your business could survive without you for a couple of weeks. Third is marketing and leads, where your next members are actually coming from, not where you think and what the data actually says. The fourth one is you as the owner, and this is the section that most business reviews skip entirely. Your energy, your time, your well-being is kind of the backbone of everything that's being done, because you're the boss and because your business will never outperform you, which is something I've said over and over again. And fifth, it's strategy and goals. So we're going to review what you said you were going to do last quarter, be honest about what actually happened, and set proper targets for the next 90 days. The sixth thing is the action plan. So you're leaving today with a concrete plan, not just a nice feeling and a vague intention. Now, I know that you've already got your sprints and you're working on the sprints. If you do this properly, your sprints are going to be even with more clarity and have even more long-term impact. So do take it seriously. Now, look at your handout. You've got around 4 pages, and we're going to work through them as we go. Fill them in as we talk, and don't wait until later. Do it now while it's fresh. Now, a few ground rules before we dive in. Number one is to be brutally honest. This is not a report card for anybody else. Nobody's going to see your handout unless you choose to share it. This is more like a mirror. And if you lie to it, you're only going to cheat yourself. Number two is, if you do not track something and you find a gap in your data today, that is your first action item. to start tracking. You can't manage what you don't measure, and if you don't know what like your churn rate is and all that stuff, then that tells you something pretty important. Rule number 3 is don't skip sections because they make you feel uncomfortable. I promise you that the uncomfortable sections are where the real, how can I say, nuggets are. That kind of feeling in your stomach when you read a question, that's something telling you that you need to pay attention to it. And number 4, write everything down. Every thought, every action item, every number. Do not trust your memory. Remember, the uncomfortable questions is where the gold is. You've got to make sure you address those uncomfortable questions. Right, so let's get right into it. So get your hand out, turn to page 1, and we're going to start with the numbers. As we go through, pause after each section to do it and set a timer for, say, 10 minutes or 6 minutes or something like that. And then just press play and go through. Don't skip it. Don't do a bit now and a bit later on. Do it properly because it will make a complete difference. So right, look at page 1 of your handout, membership health check. So we're looking at the numbers, membership, revenue and financial health. I want you to fill in the numbers right now, and if you have got your phone or you've got your CRM to hand, just pull up your CRM so you've got everything that you need to know. If you do not know the numbers off the top of your head, write your best estimate and put a question mark next to it. That question mark is an action item in itself. So pause for exactly 3 minutes now, set a timer, and then get all those details, please. Okay, so total active members, new members this quarter, members lost, members frozen, net growth, trial sign-ups, trial conversion rate. Now, here's a question most school owners skip. What is your net growth? Not how many new members you signed up, net. This is new minus lost. Because if you signed up 30 and lost 25, you didn't grow by 30, you only grew by 5. And that's a very different story. What is your churn rate? Members lost divided by total members times 100. Let me say that again. So members lost divided by total members times 100. That gives you your monthly churn percentage. If you're running at 5% monthly churn, that means you are replacing 60% of your membership every single year. Just have a think about that. If you're running at 5% monthly churn, that means you're replacing 60% of your members every single year. That means you're on a treadmill running just to stand still. That's why it's important to get that down to 4% and below. So a quick show of hands or a nod. So who knows their exact churn rate right now? Not without guessing the actual number. If you're not nodding, then you need to write that down as an action item number 1 because you need to know this number. So I want to park on this for a moment because it is that important. 5% monthly churn equals 60% annual turnover of students. So let me say that again. If you're losing 5% of your members every month, you're replacing over half your entire membership every year. That means you don't have a sales problem, you've got a retention problem. And I see this all the time. School owners spending thousands on ads, running offer after offer, grinding to get new members through the door and concentrating in areas that they shouldn't be concentrating on before this is fixed. And meanwhile, the back door is wide open and members are walking out just as fast. If your churn is above 5%, I need you to hear this clearly. Fix retention before you spend another penny on marketing. It does not matter how many people you attract if you can't keep them. You've got to get honest about why it's happening as well. Are your classes just not good enough? Or do you not have a community? You're not talking to people? Are you too soft when it comes to addressing issues? Are you not tracking attendance? What's happening or not happening? So now the other number, frozen members. How many have you got that are frozen? And how long have they been frozen? Because if someone's been frozen for more than 60 days, they are not on a pause, they're gone. They just haven't told you yet. So be honest with yourself about that number as well. Right, still on page 1, right column, revenue and financial health. Fill in what you can: total revenue, membership revenue, non-membership revenue, average revenue per member, cost per acquisition, lifetime value, expenses, profit margin, cash reserves. Again, pause for 3 minutes and then get this done. So 3 numbers I want to highlight. First is recurring revenue. What percentage of your total revenue comes from memberships versus one-off income? So what percentage of your total revenue comes from memberships versus one-off income? You want at least 70% recurring. If you're below that, your income's unpredictable and you're always chasing. Secondly, average revenue per member. So this is a number a lot of school owners completely ignore. So you got 2 schools, both with 200 members. One turns over 120 grand a year and the other 240 grand. Same member count, double the revenue. And it's happening inside the group. We've got schools with like 220 members, we've got schools with 320 members, and the one with the lower number is making more monthly revenue consistently. The difference is not how many members they have, it's how much each member is worth. That's gradings, workshop, private lessons, upgraded premium programs, camps, merchandise. These all increase your revenue per member without needing a single new student. It's the model that I like. It means that I don't have to chase massive school numbers like I used to, because the average value per student is quite high. And because of that, we do really well financially. The third is your LTV to CAC ratio. So lifetime value divided by cost to acquire, customer acquisition cost. So you want at least 3 to 1 as a ratio. If you're spending 100 quid to get a member and that member is only worth 200 quid over their lifetime, the maths just doesn't work. So remember this saying: revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, and cash is reality. So moving on to program performance. So every program you run is a mini business inside your school. So you got your kids programs, your adults, obviously, teens programs, advanced, beginners, ladies only, competition team. Each one has its own numbers. So the question I've got for you is, which program is your biggest revenue driver? Most of you are going to say kids, and this is probably right. But is it your most profitable per head? Sometimes a kids program with 80 students, 2 instructors, equipment costs and admin overheads is actually less profitable per head than an adults class with 25 students and just 1 instructor, because it just costs less to run. Something to think about. So which program is growing fastest for you? Which one is shrinking? If one of the programs is shrinking, do you know why? Are any programs cannibalizing each other? Like you launch a new intermediate class and suddenly your advanced class starts shrinking because people move down to the easier option and try and stay in that intermediate class, get to less pressure. You gotta be careful, because if that happens, you haven't grown. All you've done is shuffled the deck. Are there any programs that are dangerously dependent on a single instructor? What happens if they leave? If your entire adults program falls apart because one instructor leaves, you've got a structural risk in your business. You need to write that down. So answer all the questions, pause if you need to, and then we'll continue. Now we're going to talk about operations. So turn to page 2 of your handout, and on the left column, operations, team and systems. You've got 9 statements. Score each one from 1 to 10, but be honest. A 7 that should be a 4 doesn't help anyone, so you've got to be honest about it. And 7s are usually on the fence anyway. That's the safe score that everyone puts. Okay, it's high enough to make you feel okay about yourself, and it's low enough to admit that there are some gaps. So let's stay away from 7s. Now, pause here and go through it for about 5 minutes. Now look at your scores. Anything below a 6 needs attention. Below a 4 needs urgent attention yesterday. Now, does everyone or every person on your team have a clear role with defined responsibilities? Or are they just sort of doing stuff and you hope it gets done and bouncing from one task to the other? Has every team member got a one-to-one with you this quarter? Not a chat. I mean a proper sit down and a talk. Could your business run without you for 2 weeks? I'm not talking about just surviving. I'm on about properly run, enroll people, generate revenue, all that kind of thing, deal with adversity, payments collected, inquiries handled, new members onboarded, all without you. If the answer is no, that's not great, that's a risk. If you got injured tomorrow or fell ill, needed time off, could your school actually survive, and for how long? Now this isn't being paranoid, this is business. This is like a business continuity plan. Every serious business has it, but most martial arts schools do not have this in place. Okay, look at this grid. These are the core systems every membership business needs. This is onboarding, payment collection, referral, scheduling, cancelling process, social media, email, marketing, grading, complaints, trials, safeguarding, and financial reporting. For each one, way to ask 3 questions. In your business, does this actually exist? Is it documented? And does it work well? Most of these systems exist only in your head. Like, you know how onboarding works because you do it every time. But if you had to hand the process to someone else tomorrow, could they follow it without you explaining it? If the answer is no, it's not a system. It's just you doing a thing. So you got to ask yourself, which of these systems only exist in your head? Pick the one system that would have the biggest impact on your next 90 days if you're fixed. Just one, and write it down. For most of you, it will probably be one of the 3 things: your cancellation process, your referral system, or your onboarding. Those 3 are the biggest gains usually within a martial arts school. So take some time to think about it, write down any thoughts. Moving on to marketing and leads. We're still on page 2, right column, marketing and lead generation, just fill in the numbers. So this is the number of paid ads, organic socials, referrals, walk-ins and other. So it's the cost per lead, cost per member, what content drove inquiries, do you have a system, are you tracking these, are you following the pipeline advantage, etc. So where are your leads actually coming from is this is all about. Not where you think, where does the data say your leads are coming from? A lot of school owners fall into one or two camps. They have no idea because they don't track it, or they know exactly because it is all from one place, usually Facebook ads. Both of these things are problems. If you don't track it, are you spending money like blindly? And it means you could be wasting half your budget. And if 80% of your leads come from one source, you are one algorithm change away from disaster. So diversify. You're going to use paid ads, organic marketing, emails, referrals, partnerships, community events. You need multiple channels feeding your pipeline. So if you have 200 members, we're talking about referrals now, referral gap. If you have 200 members and fewer than 20 referral leads this quarter, your referral system is broken, or more likely non-existent. And this is something we're all guilty of. We should be asking for more referrals. So referrals should be your best source of warm leads because they already trust you. It's easy to close them, they'll stay longer and they cost you nothing to acquire. But a lot of us don't have a solid referral system in place. It's just hoping members will tell their friends. And as we know, hope is not a strategy. So questions to ask you: are you actually asking for referrals? Are you asking consistently? Are you making it easy? Are you incentivizing? Do you even have a system, or are you just hoping? If your referral system is weak, that is one of the highest leverage things you can fix in the next 90 days. Free leads from people who already love what you do. Next part is the owner. This is about you. So this is page 3, left column, the energy audit. And this is a section that most business reviews leave out completely. And I think it's probably the most important one. Because yeah, as I keep saying, I've said in the past, your business is never going to outperform you. If you're burnt out, exhausted, running on coffee and energy drinks and willpower, your business will reflect that eventually. You might not see it straight away, but your team will, and your members will, and your family definitely feel it. So the 9 areas are physical health, sleep, nutrition, mental clarity, stress, emotional well-being, motivation, confidence, and joy. Score each one on a score of 1 to 10, 1 being terrible and 10 being amazing. Just pause this for as long as you need to fill this in and be honest. Okay, so now hopefully you've got your score. What I want you to do is I want you to add up your total. At a 90, below 50 is a pattern. Not a rough patch that you're going through. Below 50 is a pattern. Below 5 in 3 or more areas is a burnout warning. When was the last time you took a genuine day off? Not a day where you checked your emails, I mean a proper day off. Okay, we're all martial artists here as well. When was the last time you actually trained? I'm not on about going to the gym, I'm about trained martial arts in some way, shape or form. Not taught, trained for yourself. If you stop training, something's off. And the thing is, you got into this because you love the art. I know I did. And I've made a conscious effort to try and get back into training. The only time I've stopped is because of injury or illness. And if the art has disappeared from your life, what are you even running this for? You should be involved in some way, shape or form, otherwise you're going to lose the drive and the energy. Okay, time audit. Right column of page 3. So the categories are tagged. In means time in the business, doing the work, and on means time on the business, building it. You means time on yourself. So I'll go for that again. In means time in the business, doing the work. On means time on the business, building it up. And you means time on yourself. So fill in roughly how many hours a week you're spending in each one. Pause this, then come back in 3 minutes. Okay, so now you've got those hours written in. Add up your in hours and your on hours separately. Now, if you're spending 80% in and 20% on, you do not own a business, you own a job. That's a job with no holiday pay, no pension, and a boss who never lets you leave. So the brutal question at the bottom is, if you paid yourself hourly based on actual profit and actual hours worked, what would that hourly rate be? So take your profit for the quarter, divide it by the hours you actually worked, and is that number what your time is worth? That number tells you everything about whether your business model is working or you need to start making some active changes. Moving on to strategy and goals. So this is page 4, left column. What goals did you set last quarter, at the beginning of last quarter? Write them in, and did you hit them? Just pause and give yourself 90 seconds on this. Okay, thanks for doing that. Now, if you missed your goals, it was usually one of 3 reasons. It was either too many goals, so you diluted your focus because you had too many things going on, or you had no weekly check-ins, so you weren't showing up to stay accountable enough, so your goals became kind of bullshit wishes, and no connection to daily action, so there wasn't any strategy, and it just stayed like like a dream or a wish. So be honest about which one it is, because if you set new goals today using the same approach, you're going to get the same result. One of the most important concepts that I can give you is lead measures versus lag measures. This is an important concept to understand. So lag measures are results like get 30 new members, increase revenue by 20%. You can't control these directly. You can't just go out and just get 30 new members. You can't just go and increase revenue by 20%. So lead measures are actions that lead to the lag measures. So run 2 ads per month, send 10 messages out, make 30 phone calls in a day to prospects, contact ex-students, host 1 community event per month. You have complete control over these, and if you do these consistently, then you'll get the 30 new members and increased revenue. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so we want to do lead measures. You can't control lag measures, you can only control lead measures. So most people set goals that are all lag measures, and I hear it every single time we set goals. I want to get 30 new members, but we need to be better. It's like, I want 30 new members, great, but what are you doing every week to make that happen? If you cannot answer with specific weekly actions, your goal is more of a hope. That's why when we come to the sprints, I do push and try and get you to come to that understanding week by week by week until it becomes habit, until eventually the more developed students in the group will start saying things like this many calls now instead of just the outcome. I hope that makes sense. So the bottom of page 4, left column, the key questions. Just give 1 or 2 sentence answers that are quick and honest. If you need to pause this, then pause it and then go through it. So the questions are, what is the single biggest constraint in your business right now? What are you tolerating that you shouldn't be? What worked brilliantly last quarter? Just do more of it. What didn't work? Or what do you need to stop doing or change? If you could only focus on 3 things, what would they be? What are you avoiding and why? Because the thing that you're avoiding is almost certainly the thing that matters the most. So pause this, answer those questions please before we move on. Okay, we're now into the last stretch, the action plan. So this is where the review turns into results. Exciting stuff. So we've got right column of page 4, maximum 3 priorities, not 5, not 10, 3. If everything's a priority, nothing's going to be a priority. Right? So for each one, I want the goal, the metric, month 1 milestone, month 2, month 3, and a weekly action. This is just like a overview of the impact filter, a watered down version of the impact filter. But the details of it, the impact filter will be filled in when we come through to doing our sprints and everything as well. So example, priority 1, it might be to fix retention. The key metric would be reduce monthly churn from 6% to 4%. Month 1 is going to be implement a 30-day new member check-in call. Month 2, launch a re-engagement campaign. Month 3, build a recognition program. Weekly action, 5-person check-in messages to members every week. You see how that breaks it down? So monthly milestones and a weekly action you control. That's how goals get achieved. Now look at the bottom. Stop doing, write down 3 things that you're going to stop. This is just as important, because if you add priorities without removing anything, you're just piling more onto a full plate. It could be your energy. Like with me, I wanted to be able to do more in the coaching program and more like in a growth network for my clients, and build more to make things easier, move faster. So I had to stop doing certain things that was just taking up most of my time without justification. That means I'm not piling on and getting stressed and not being able to do what I need to do. Well, we did the same in our martial arts school as well. Okay, next one, red flag checklist. There's 10 red flags on the screen. Tick any that apply. So churn rate, your net growth is flat or negative. Your trial conversions below 50%, no referral system. Revenue per member is static for 12 months, it hasn't changed. Most of your leads come from one channel. No price increase over 12 months. Key function depends on one person. Business cannot run without you for a week. You don't know your actual profit margins. Any of these that apply to you, tick them off. Just pause for 60 seconds, 90 seconds, and just tick the ones that apply. So 3 more ticks is red, not yellow. Red, those need to be part of your 90-day plan starting this week. The good news is now you know where the problems are, and most school owners don't even get that far. You're ahead of 90% of your competitors who are still running blind. So the last piece is this review rhythm. Now this quarterly review is powerful. I think it's the most powerful one I've ever done with you guys, but useful. But actually it's useless if it doesn't connect to daily execution. So every day, 5 minutes, 3 tasks. Which one moves a quarterly priority forward? So just take 5 minutes each day to know exactly what 3 tasks are going to move a quarterly priority forward. Every week, take out 30 minutes and ask yourself, did I complete my lead, measure, actions? Remember the lead versus lag? Did I complete my lead, measure, actions? Am I on track? What's my energy score? Monthly, take 1 hour and check your metrics. Am I on or off track? Quarterly, half a day like we're doing now. The full framework, every 90 days without fail. So just put it in your calendar now. Weekly review, monthly review, next quarterly review. If it's not in the calendar, it's not going to happen. So look at your handout, 4 pages, numbers, operations, marketing, energy, strategy, action plan. This is a complete picture of your business and yourself. Most of you will have found things you already knew but were avoiding. Some of you will have uncovered things you didn't even realize, and both are valuable. You've got to remember that the business you want is on the other side of the questions you've been avoiding. So now you have the framework, you have the questions, you have the structure. What you do with it from here is up to you. Block the time, do the work, be honest with yourself. Your next quarterly review should be in the first week of the next quarter. So put it in your calendar before you leave the room or finish this call. Not next week, do it now. Thank you for being here and well done on your work over the past quarter. Thank you for doing the work today, and I really do mean that, because most people never stop long enough to look at their business honestly. You just did, and that matters. Look at your realizations from doing this review and post it in the members school group, please. If you have any further questions or realizations, these are things we can bring up in the calls next week. Enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. Take care.